Hey, we're back, Chubby.
Hey, here we are.
And we have ourselves a beauty expert.
Yes. The rose between two thorns.
Yes, our certified beauty expert.
Yes,
Miss Paisley Speakman.
Paisley Speakman.
Cunningham. Yes, married Cunningham.
Yes.
And we have Josh here with us. He's filling in for Tyler. Hey,
Yeah.
Josh, what's up? Yeah.
He didn't realize this was a job interview today.
Yeah, he didn't realize. Yeah, you look really good right there, Josh. Yeah. Yeah. Just keep us rolling. Red button's on.
Yeah.
Welcome, Paisley. You're not drinking anything, or we cheers you.
Oh, yeah. I left my water over there.
That's what Josh is here for, in case you need to just give him the.
I need a bell.
You need a bell. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring you in. So you have been sending me anyway, not Chad. Chad's here, just hanging out, moral support. But you've been sending us Airbnb people because you've got deep into this beauty stuff. Deep. Okay. And I've known you since you were a baby, but the last I knew, you were working at the Office Commons. How many years ago? 10, almost 8,
probably 7,
8.
Yeah, something like that.
And then boom, you've exploded into this new business, and you're killing it in the world. You are now a certified beauty expert.
Yes.
In microblading.
Sort of.
What is this? Is this like real life filters? Is this what this is?
Kind of.
Because like the eyebrow thing went nuts there for a minute. Remember when it was bad for a second? Remember?
It was bad.
So give us this whole rundown.
It was bad. Just like how I got into it.
Yeah,
please.
Okay. Well, it was kind of an accident. I've always been kind of fascinated with tattoos and art in general. Mm-hmm. So my mom.
Like when? Like ever since you was a baby?
Hey, are you a business owner looking for insurance coverage? Give this guy a call. You know him. You trust him. Jason Gillum Insurance, 740-395-0190.
Hey guys, on behalf of the Chubbies, huge thanks to Geiger Brothers Construction. Give them a call at 740-286-0800. They've been great community supporters, and they are a friend of the Chubby program, so thank you, Geiger Brothers Construction.
I'm drawing a blank. It's not going to come to life on the paper. So I didn't think that would ever be a career path for me. So I kind of wrote that off and just moved on. Tried all kinds of things, lots of trials.
Being a tattoo artist, you're saying? Like,
yeah,
I
just like wrote that off. I did not think that would be a thing for me. So, went lots of different ways trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And then about 6 years ago, my mom was on Instagram and she starts seeing, microblading, cosmetic tattooing. And she's like, you should do this. It seems like something you would really like. And I'm like, is that even a thing? Like it wasn't big back then.
6 years ago?
6 years ago, it was just starting to like make its way onto social media and become popular. It's really been around for a long time. Tattoo artists used to do it. And like, if you ever see ladies with like pink or blue eyebrows, they probably went to like some traditional tattoo shop and they just scribbled some stuff on their forehead. So that's no good. But, yeah, it was just starting to get popular maybe like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. And it took me a year to really like pull the trigger on it and go train for it. So I found a place in Cincinnati and walked in, and like from the moment I started, I was like, this is it. I have no other option at this point. I love this. And my training was actually a complete joke. Like it was no good. This lady did not know what she was talking about. But I knew I couldn't fail. It was my passion. Like I just knew instantly.
What made you think the training was a joke?
Oh, because I left there and had no idea what I was doing. And, well, actually, if you want to hear the story, during my training, a couple different things happened. One, the trainer, put VHS tapes on this little like 6x6 TV, and that was my training. Like she just had me watch videos, so it wasn't
VHS.
Really,
so they were up to date.
It was ancient, and I was like, man, I really thought this was going to be like a little bit more hands-on.
Yeah.
I'm putting something permanent on people's faces, so
this is permanent.
So now not so much. More like it fades away over time, but depending on like the pigment that you use, there's all different kinds out there. It can be permanent.
Well, we'll get into that.
Yeah, We'll get into that. I'll explain that.
So are you saying that you kind of followed a path here and the training was a little weak? So did you kind of have to teach yourself?
A little bit. So I left there and I knew like I didn't want to waste any time. I wanted to start working right away because, with anything, like if you're not consistent with it, you're not going to build a business. So I started taking clients and did what I could, to the best of my ability.
You screw anybody up?
Oh, I probably have. I mean, just being totally transparent. I've even had a couple people come back through the doors now, 5 years later, and I'm like, we're going to do some removal. Let's just get a blank slate, start over. And I'm just honest with them because I truly didn't know what I was doing.
It had to be a little bit scary.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
does?
the first time you got a client coming in there, and it's like they want this, and it's a very permanent thing.
Yeah, and the pigments that I was using then, permanent.
So like,
They're not going anywhere.
That could be a little nerve wracking early on.
Terrifying.
Yeah, I would say
Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying. So I've probably screwed some people up a little bit. Nothing horrible, but there might be some bad work floating around out there. But I knew I needed more training, so I instantly enrolled in another class with a reputable trainer. I just didn't know what I was looking for when it came to training, so I enrolled in some more classes, and since then, over the last 5 years, I think I've been recertified 18 to 20 times. Okay. Lots more, countless hours, thousands of dollars in trainings, all over the world. So I've trained with artists out of Canada, England, and then all over the United States.
Well, the ones that are coming here in June that contacted me are from the UK.
Yeah, they're from England. Yeah, she's amazing. I would say out of all the trainings that I've taken, she's the most real and honest. She's not sponsored by any pigment brand or needle company or tattoo company. She just has really taken time to learn the science behind everything and explains that. And she's so honest and knowledgeable and just really thorough with her trainings. I've learned so much from her, and I'm really excited to bring her here and host her for other artists to come take that training.
What do you think that brought on the eyebrow craze? I mean, we went how many years and then there was nothing.
I honestly don't know. I mean, the beauty industry has exploded anyways. I mean, it's been around forever. Ladies want to look good, but the permanent makeup industry, I have no idea what really started the craze. It just all of a sudden, I think social media, because you see the videos of it and then they go viral and then everybody wants it. And that's how I figured.
And probably there's been a big influx of providers in the market too, that people can actually do it. I would imagine at one time nobody could do that, right? I mean, it took a minute to get. You'd probably have to drive a long way to get somebody to do that.
Yeah, and it all started I think maybe it was overseas somewhere that started it, and then here. I mean, like I said, there were some traditional tattoo artists who would just kind of really paint some stuff on people's faces, but
they weren't specialized in that.
No.
It almost seems like the beauty industry and the plastic surgery industry are almost starting to mesh a little bit.
Injectables, all those things.
All that kind of stuff. So
you're seeing a lot of that.
Oh my, yes.
It's becoming common in average people. Used to it was Hollywood. And now it's everybody.
Absolutely.
Everybody. People will do anything to get their beauty procedures.
And they become obsessed.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
I mean, even my clients, this is not something that you have to necessarily touch up every single year. But 1 year on the dot, they have a reminder in their phone to contact me because they want on my books, even if they don't need anything done. Okay. And then I just let them come in and I'm like, okay, well, it still looks great. So.
All right, let's talk a little bit about what it is and what you're doing and the advantage of it. Obviously, these people are probably that are coming to you have been using multiple products for a period of years. Now they come in and you do your thing, and then they don't need to use any makeup anymore or any product, or is yours just the foundation and then they still use makeup, or what how does that work?
It could be either way. So if you're somebody who full glams every day, you may have to add a little bit to it, because some artists will do like what I call like the Instagram brow, or like very like sleek, dark, filled in, but over time those are going to look really funky in the skin. So, and I'll talk about the pigments in a little bit, but those could like really turn ashy or gray or something. So I like to keep it really natural, and I just like to build off of people's like natural beauty. So a lot of people want it because their symmetry is off, or they don't have any hair growth in their eyebrows. That's really, really common, especially like as we age, our eyebrows just thin. And then, you know, people look really funny when they don't have eyebrows. Believe it or not. I mean, you should look, they look really funny when they don't have eyebrows. So
I would imagine.
You don't really notice it until like you see a picture of somebody that has absolutely no eyebrows, and then you put a picture of them with eyebrows next to, like, side by side, and you're like, oh shit, they look way better with eyebrows.
Yeah. Their forehead's not nearly that big.
Yeah. But it's not just eyebrows either. I do eyeliner. I tattoo on people's eyeliner. A lot of people can't do like a wing. Like they watch their tutorials and stuff and they just can't get it symmetrical or don't know how to do it. So I tattoo that on. And I also do lip blushing, which is great for just like another, like as we age, like we'll lose like the border of our lips. So it just kind of gives them the definition and some color too.
So you're doing the whole thing. You're doing the whole
thing.
Yeah, we'll
all of it.
You'll set them all up.
Full face.
Yeah.
Full face.
You'll put the whole,
right.
you'll put the lipstick on the pig. I should say that.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So you mentioned microblading earlier, which is like kind of how it all started. All the artists started doing microblading first, which I don't even do that anymore. It's kind of
I thought that's all you did.
No. So microblading is just like a universal term for permanent makeup. That's the term that everybody
see there, now I've learned something.
That's just what everybody, they book an appointment and they're like, I want microblading, but they actually don't know what they want because they don't know like what techniques are available. Microblading was developed years ago, and it's basically like if you imagine like an ink pen with a little tiny scalpel blade on the end of it, you're like slicing their skin open. So it's really traumatic and goes pretty deep. And then you implant that pigment, and then over time it's just causes a lot of trauma to the skin and looks really bad. And then a lot of times there's like scarring left over. So I did learn that technique, but I learned really quickly that it's not healthy. And I don't like to compromise the integrity of anybody's skin just to achieve a certain look.
Sure.
So I learned other techniques, and now everything that I do is with an actual tattoo machine. It's a lot less invasive, way softer on the skin, doesn't cause scarring, and we're really just working like on the top layer, like the epidermis. So it's just way healthier, and over time heals more natural and will fade away depending on what pigments you use. So microblading, universal term, phasing out. Now we have something replacing it called nano brows, which is same look, like your supernatural hair strokes, like creating like a very realistic 3D brow, but done with a machine rather than like a little scalpel blade.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're starting to see these girls with like almost, not, I don't want to say bushy.
Oh, the fluffy brows.
The fluffy brows.
That trend's going to end, and then they're all going to be upset that they have fluffy brows permanently on their face, at least for a few years. I mean, they're cute. They're cute. They are, but I just, like I said, I prefer to, maybe I'm a little more conservative artist, but I prefer to keep it a little more natural. So I try to talk people off the ledge a little bit whenever they come in wanting something crazy. Yeah.
Do you ever say, it's not me? You might want to go to somebody else.
Oh, yeah. One time I had a lady come in and she was like, you can do anything you want with my eyebrows as long as they're round. And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking like,
oh, she wanted like round, like half moons.
I thought she just wanted like the front rounded a little bit. And I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't think she wanted like a square front. So I like draw them on and she's like, no, I want them round. And I was like, okay, well, I need like a photo or something. I'm not sure what you mean. She wanted McDonald's golden arches. She wanted like really round. So I had to send her home.
Yeah.
Because I might as well just tattoo my name on their forehead because everybody's going to ask where they got it.
Where did you get that?
Where did you get that done? Because I am not going there.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
That is not the goal.
Yeah.
Well, it's going well for you. I mean, my gosh, they're coming in. I mean, I was just astounded. I mean, that girl was from, the Carolinas. South Carolina. And then, the next people that contacted me were from the UK. And I was like, what? Paisley, what are you doing? I was like, so are you doing a school or are these people coming to train you? What are you doing?
No. I'm an educator now. About 2 years ago, I started educating in the industry. And it's really just grown. I wasn't sure. I knew I was passionate about it. I knew I was passionate about teaching the right way, especially because of the experience that I had in the beginning. And I had to learn so much. I want to be able to prepare students so that when they leave, they feel comfortable doing clients. I don't want them to leave and feel like they don't know what they're doing or be scared. And I also want them to have a support system because I didn't have that either. There was really nobody doing it. And I felt like I had nobody to reach out to. I would literally reach out to random artists on Instagram for help if I needed someone. Yeah. So I'm really passionate about just teaching the right way to do it because we are working on people's faces. It is going to be there for a while. And you just see so many horror stories with permanent makeup. And a lot of that is because there's not a lot of regulations on like the licensing and stuff. But yeah, so I started educating and it started out, I was just getting a lot of local, like Portsmouth, Chillicothe, even Jackson. I've trained a few girls here in Jackson and they're doing really well now. And then it just like slowly started growing. And I do network quite a bit because I still go to trainings myself once or twice a year out of state. So I've met a lot of girls out of state and actually, when I'm in class with them, I feel like, I'm on the same level as them. I don't look at them as like my students and then they come take my trainings, which is to me is just such a huge honor.
Yeah.
And I've had several from West Virginia, Kentucky. I have one coming from Indiana. I had a girl reach out to me from Wisconsin. I think she might be coming in for the class with Alex, and then Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I just want to keep growing. I have such a big vision.
Have you done all this business. Like online? Have you basically grown this basically online?
I have never paid for marketing. I have done, but countless hours of research to figure out how to like reach people and how to like what you're, how to take a good picture and how to, market yourself. And I'm still honestly learning. I feel like I've gotten the marketing for like the actual procedures and like getting clients in the door. I've got that down, but marketing for the training, it's a whole different thing because students, they want to see like you live in action and I'm really awkward behind a camera. So I'm still trying to break into that and market it. But word of mouth has been another huge thing just from like students who've met me in trainings and stuff. They recommend people and I don't know. It's crazy. I honestly never dreamed. I thought Jackson would kind of stunt my ability to grow a little bit in the business because I've always had such a big vision for it. Mm-hmm. And my dad was like, yeah, this is not going to fly here. He's like, you're going to have to move, you want something bigger, you're going to have to move. And I think it was last year, he was like asking me some questions, wanted to know like about my business, how it was doing, what kind of money I was making. He was being real nosy. And then all of a sudden he was like, you know what? You've proved me wrong. I'm very proud of you. He's like, I just did not see this happening here in Jackson.
Well, it is kind of a new world, man.
Yeah.
With all the social media platforms and everything, it really doesn't matter where you are.
No.
What's been really fun to watch, like you and the Taylors,
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, that's, mainly, especially you and Taylor Folden, Malone, I guess, just because I've known you guys through your dad since you guys
she's
were
like she's family to me.
You guys are family.
She's family.
And you guys, it's been fun for me to sit back and watch you guys, support each other and, boost each other up. That's been neat. And you both have done it essentially on social media.
Yeah. She's amazing at it.
Yeah.
I've actually learned a lot of like marketing stuff from her because she's good at it.
Yeah.
At the
She's got that I don't care. You know, she just got.
She does not care.
You're more than timid type, and she's not.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little more timid on social media for sure.
Yeah, Taylor. Both the Taylors.
Both the Taylors.
Have no filter.
I really appreciate that, though.
Yeah.
I really do. We need that balance. I'll balance them out a little bit.
Yeah, you bring in that timidness to them that they don't have. But
I've learned a lot from both of them. Taylor, Leo Jude is huge on TikTok.
huge.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
both the Taylors are huge on TikTok. I don't even have a TikTok, and they've both been telling me for like years that I need to get it. But I just need like a second set of hands. If I'm just trying to
it's
get
a lot.
Josh to come work with me so that he can film my content.
I had no idea. We're in that situation with Tyler right now. We was telling you about, and I mean, I just cannot. It's a lot. I'm struggling to get these videos edited and get them online, and just have the time to do it. It just takes time. And
Hours.
hours. You see a lot of these guys, and they're like, "Hey, we want to start a podcast," and they're like, "Listen, you better." Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
You better get ready.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have a lot of free time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have, the podcast is the easy part.
Right.
That's the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the editing and the posting, and I spend hours.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Hours.
sure. Yeah. Even this, doing one show a week is probably 4 to 6 hours a week. Yeah. Pretty easy. With me right now, probably 8 to 10, but it'll get down to about 4 to 6.
Yeah. I literally go to work and then I come home and I work because that's just the only way to get it all done.
Yeah.
I will say I'm trying to optimize things a little bit. I haven't had like a functioning website this whole time, which I should have done this 5 years ago, and I knew that. But I do have I rebranded, and I'm launching my website in a couple weeks. It's awesome. So I'm super excited for that. And then that's going to be like a place where students and clients can go and they can get the answers to all of their questions in one place, because
Takes you out of it.
Yes, I spend a ton of time, and I don't want to take me out of it completely because I still want them to be able to connect with me. But the basic questions, how to book an appointment, when is your next training? Those
What
type of
hours are
things.
your classes from?
Yeah,
is there bathrooms?
Exactly. Exactly. All that stuff will be on there. So I can
have
just
a
be
sugar deficit. We give we break for lunch.
Will there be snacks?
Well, there will be snacks always.
I know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be good. So then I can just continue focusing on the social media, because that part of it's never going to go away. You have to market yourself.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I'd say you'll get to the point where you don't.
Oh, well, actually, I need to market for my trainings, but my books have been closed for months. I'm booked through mid-April, and when I open them, they fill in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
3 months will fill in 5 minutes. And every time I get nervous, I'm like, what if not one client books? My heart's beating because I'm opening my appointments. And then Josh is connected to my booking app, and he'll be like, it's full already. It's been 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's wild. I never dreamed that was my goal, because I have a mentor in Atlanta, and her books would fill like that. She would open them, and then they would fill in 20 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And I was just like, I don't know how I get there, but I want to be there.
Yeah.
And then I just kept, working, trying to get better, training.
What do you attribute that to?
The book, booking up
the
so
fact
fast?
that, yeah.
Well, a few things. One, I think it's just how I present myself and how I represent my business. And also I definitely, there's no other artist in the area doing what I'm doing.
Okay.
Really, there's no other artist in the state of Ohio that does everything that I do.
Okay.
Just my education, the techniques that I do, the eyeliner technique that I do, that is really, there are some artists in the Carolinas who do it, in Florida, England, but people are just learning it.
Okay.
So I'm definitely set apart with staying ahead of the trends a little bit.
Sure.
That and marketing. Also, I have found that what you put out, you get back. I truly believe I've trained people in Jackson, and people were like, why are you training your own competition? I don't look at anybody as competition.
Right.
The world is abundant. The clients who are meant for me will come, and that's what I tell them. So I try to like always be helpful and root other artists on and help people who have had bad experiences in permanent makeup.
Sure.
And I think that also sets me apart a little bit.
Sure. Now, from a differentiation standpoint, you used the term a little bit ago. You were talking about different pigments.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like the type of pigment that you use it matters.
It matters 100%. And that's another
and there's
thing.
a certain type that you use that maybe not everybody uses.
Yes, kind of. So a lot of times when you go to a training, it's just basic. They toss some pigments in your bag and they don't explain the science behind them, how they're made up, what what their compounds are, particles, what it's made up of. And I am a researcher. So I always want to know what is in what I'm using and what is it going to do in the skin, especially over a period of time. So I've spent a lot of time testing out pigments, learning from other artists who have used certain pigments. And I started out using a pigment line that's in the permanent makeup world called organic. That's not like the organic food that you buy at the grocery store. It's actually has a carbon base, which is soot, which is black, the strongest that you can get. And you're implanting that in the skin, and over time, it doesn't disappear, even though we're advertising it as semi-permanent makeup. But to no fault of our own, we just weren't taught. We had no idea that was what was going to happen. So I started researching that and started getting away from those pigments. I don't prefer them anymore. I like to use a pigment that's much less permanent, that does not have a carbon base. They're actually mineral-based iron oxide pigments. And those used to scare a lot of artists because they would sometimes turn like pink in the skin over time. And it just depends on which ones you're using, because now they've come such a long way, and it's actually like a synthetic iron oxide, like created in a lab to mimic the mineral. So your body metabolizes it much differently. So it doesn't turn those colors anymore. It just kind of fades away over time and is really soft and natural. So that's how I teach my students too. Now, there is still a need for like those carbon-based pigments on certain skin types, but you don't have to overuse them or like really pack them in. It just needs to be very soft.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of like science involved to it, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But Chad's an old skin man from way back. Chad likes to take care of his skin. Chad's been using
that.
Oh, he's always been a good moisturizing man.
You guys wouldn't believe I'm 75 years old.
Yeah. He's just got good tone.
Well, you do have great skin.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's always used good creams. I've said this for years. He's always used good. Use good creams.
You got to avoid those crow's feet, man. On the eyes.
I haven't
just get a little Botox.
Well, I mean, I've just done years and years of moisturizing, man.
Who was I talking to then? Oh, I can't drop his name on. One of our buddies got a little shot the other day. I had to give him some hell. I said, "Oh, come on."
Oh, he went and got Botox.
Yeah.
It's preventative maintenance.
Of what?
You know what, man?
Maintenance.
I don't make fun of a man that goes and gets that done, dude.
I don't think. Josh, would you get it done?
More men are getting it done than you know. I just told him that, you preserve the forehead a little bit. More men are getting it done. I'm telling you, than you think. I used to work in a med spa. Yeah. You wouldn't believe some of the men.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would agree with that.
Got a new med spa coming to Jackson.
I did see that. She's a client of mine.
Yep. Dr. Buckley.
Yeah.
Yep. That's going to be cool. It's going to be right up the street.
No, Bentley. Elizabeth.
Jesus. Yes. Why did I say Buckley?
I don't know.
I know why I said Buckley. I was talking to a Buckley today.
Okay. Yeah, she texted me a while back and told me that it was coming. I'm excited for her. That's awesome.
Yes. Elizabeth Bentley. I think it'll be open here in 2 weeks.
And it's right downtown?
Yeah, it's I don't know the address off the top of my head. It's right
beside Michael's Ice Cream. Yeah.
2 doors down. Right.
I need to get in touch with her and go check it out.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for it.
It's kind of, you can kind of see in there now. It's you can see it about half open, I guess. No, it's not open at all, but you can see in there. They got stuff in there.
So what hours do you keep, Paisley? when you do this? Like, I mean, obviously you've got to work in trainings and all this. Like, when do you see clients?
So I just recently started setting boundaries, which is really difficult for me because I would work all the time. Like, that's just, I think because the business is like my baby and I've grown it since it was nothing. But I work typically 5 days a week, some Saturdays. I'm trying not to work Saturdays anymore. I try to be home by like 5:30 or 6 p.m. now.
It's not bad.
Trainings, I schedule them pretty far in advance because I'm booked out so far in advance. And they're usually like anywhere from 2 to 4 days, just depending on what I'm training, if it's a beginner student or an advanced student, that type of thing. So, but I'm pretty much always available. Like, I'm always working, always working.
Well, that's just the name of that game.
Yeah, and that's how I built my business. Josh and I were talking about that on the way here. I would come in on a Sunday night for someone if that's what they needed, or I worked every Saturday for 4 years, just to build my business, and I'd work late on Friday nights, late into the evening. Sometimes I wouldn't get home until 8:30 or 9, and I did have to start setting boundaries because I do have a son. He's 7. And I was like missing his t-ball games, and I was like, okay, I have to draw the line somewhere. So
Got to be a balance.
Yeah, which I'm not good at. Because when I told you earlier before we even started, when I get my mindset on something, I'm going until it happens, like all the way, all or nothing.
I'll say that, man. You've went at this hard. Yeah.
And my business, I feel like it grew really fast. The first year, it was okay, but then once I started really like learning the techniques and getting better, I don't know. It was like overnight. I just remember like, oh, I can't wait until I'm booked out 1 full month. And then I was like, holy crap, I'm booked out 3 months. Like, I have to close my books. I can't even keep them open anymore. It
Paisley,
felt like overnight.
What was the learning curve with this business? Like, when you first started, like you just referenced, when I started getting good, like, when did you feel like, hey, I've got a really good grasp on this now? How many years did that take?
I started feeling more confident probably like 2 years in after some really extensive trainings.
Okay.
But I would say I didn't become like fully confident until I started training, because I wouldn't train. I had people asking me to train them, and I was like, I'm not doing it until I know that I'm really good at it.
Well, they always say that you can prove that you know something inside out if you can teach somebody else to do it.
Yeah. So I think,
like, that must be,
I think it was like 2 years ago I started training, 1.5 years. And I mean, even then I was like, man, am I ready? Like, I felt like I was, but I had questions. So those first few students, and still to this day, my students, I'm like, is there anything I could have done better? Is there something you wanted to know more on? What can I do to improve so that, you always leave here feeling like you know what you're doing. It's so important to me. But yeah, it took a little while. There was really frustrating times where I would get discouraged and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do this or whatever. But I knew that I loved it and I wanted it to work. So I just kept going and stayed consistent, practiced a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Because there's so much to learn. Different skin types. Working on a younger person is much different than working on somebody that's a little older. That all of those things like vary. When you're working with eyeliner, if like they're very vascular, the capillaries are exposed, those are things, all of those things that you have to, there's so many like tiny details that go into the business that you really don't learn in like just a 3-day training. And we were talking earlier about it not being like regulated so much in Ohio. In certain states, you have to work under a physician or you have to take a state board. In the state of Ohio, you don't have to do any of that. You just have to go take like a 2 or 3 day training and get a certification. And then all you have to have is a space licensed and inspected by the health department, which that is literally it in Ohio. Yeah. And there's a few of us artists in Ohio who are really pushing for a state board.
Oh,
just
I'd say it's probably
some licensing, get some licensing going, because what we're seeing now is artists doing like 2 or 3 hour online trainings and then working on people, and it is terrifying.
Have you come out yet with your VHS version of your training that you could sell, online and during late night TV?
Actually, that's something I really want to do. I do want to create an online training, but only for advanced students.
Right.
I don't want beginner students taking an online training, because if I can't be there to help you, show you how to stretch the skin, hold the skin, the angle of the needle, how it all works, I just don't feel like I can adequately,
So you feel like they have to have been doing the work for a while to understand the concepts.
Yeah, 100%.
Pretty interesting stuff.
It's great, man.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
So where can they find you?
Oh, well, my studio is above Miguel Christian Salon.
Okay, well, like online. Where can I find
online.
you? Yeah.
Well, my website's not launching for 2 weeks. I don't know.
Well, it'll probably be about that
I
long.
can't give you the address of it yet.
Okay. All right.
Under
Facebook.
construction.
You got Facebook?
Facebook and Instagram. Permanent Makeup by Paisley is my Instagram. On Facebook, I'm Paisley Permanent Cosmetics, which is my actual business name.
Mm-hmm.
Permanent Makeup by Paisley is Instagram. I made it back in the beginning before I actually had a business name, and I've just left it.
Yeah, don't get to change it. They got
No, because then people can't find you, and it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. But my name is like pretty rare, so just searching Paisley usually.
Paisley makeup and
it'll bring it right up. Yeah.
Got anything else?
No, man, that was great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paisley.
Thanks for coming in, Paisley.
Thanks
Fist
for
bump.
having
Thanks
me.
for sending.
Yeah.
Thanks for sending people our way. We appreciate
Yeah,
you. We'll send them
absolutely.
your way.
Okay,
Maybe
cool.
Chad and I will come down and
Yeah, come and I'll fix you guys up a little bit.
with some permanent makeup.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a buddy that's doing it. So
Yeah, you never know, man.
That's Botox. That's different.
well, he's doing it all. He's getting all pretty. He got all kinds of stuff done, and it ain't even Eddie.
Well, if he gets eyeliner put on, man, I mean,
That's
I'm
weird.
not gonna worry about that.
I know. That's next. That's next. All right. Hey, look up our sponsors. We'll see you.
Thank you.